from what I remember on the documentary, they made their contestants burn 4,000 calories a day.
The show wasn't called "Let's help these people lose loads of weight and then keep it off for the rest of their life so they live a long and fulfilling life."
Now compare this Biggest Loser to MrBeast's video where Tyler was the coach.
We always say there's loads of coaches out there. You can take your pick. But how many good quality coaches are out there?
Are you the next Biggest Loser?
I'm Ryan Stevens.
Dr. Taylor Waters.
I'm Ben Olliver.
Welcome to the Supra Human Show, yeah?
Are you the next Biggest Loser? Or just another fat wanker? Welcome to the Superhuman Show. I recently watched the Biggest Loser documentary on Netflix, and it was kind of like a behind the scenes where it interviewed a load of contestants, probably from like 10 years ago. And I loved the show when it started, and the transformations were insane. It wasn't like, oh, Dave lost 50 pounds. It's like Sheila lost 800 pounds in this show. And it's obviously, when I was watching it, it's a TV show. And so you get a very condensed version in 30 minutes of kind of like their week. And, there's some gym stuff. There's like a bit of them eating, their struggles, their personal stories. And then they have the big, eat at the end of each week. They step on the scale, and then on the screen it shows the weight loss. And if it's teams, and so whoever loses the most weight, and then they get eliminated if they get voted off by the trainers. And it was a genius move for a show.
Well, do you know, when I first started watching the documentary, obviously I had seen it in the past, but like I hadn't paid much attention to it. So the documentary was the first time I really started to delve into it. And I initially, when I was watching it, I was like, it is in general not a bad idea. Like, people find it motivational to see people given this lifeline, work hard, drop all this weight. And it's a bit of like a success story. It's just, again, when there's money or like the fame that it got that's on the line, people go really extreme, and that's when it goes south. But the general concept of it, I was like, it sounds pretty good.
Like, when you want to try and maximize views on a TV show, you have to remember it's for entertainment. That's the most important thing to know.
There was a bit of mugging going on.
I can tell you, it wouldn't have been a documentary if it was like done properly.
So we, because we've spoken about it in terms of motivation. You've got internal and external and stuff, and so there's big prize money for when they win. And they'll, again, it's a show, so they'll be like, well, like, why are you here? And they're like, I'm doing it for my kids, and it's like, you're doing it for 100K probably.
Should we forget the 100K then? Like, oh no.
No, I still want that. The kids can fuck off. But but the interesting part about the documentary is because it was behind the scenes, and a couple of the people that they interviewed that had been on the show have not only regained the weight after, but more so. And that was a really, really frequent occurrence over the years. Like, I'm sure you could find it online, but it was like 50 to 60% of them would all gain some weight back, but like 50 to 60% would go right back to the start. And so we talk about this where we say, weight loss isn't the problem, it's weight maintenance, because yo-yo dieting has been around for decades and decades. People will drop 20 pounds, gain 20 pounds, drop 20 pounds, gain 20 pounds.
Well, what's the sayings that people have? And it's like people who claim that diets don't work, and I think the statistics they throw out are like, because weight regain is like 80%. 80% of people who lose weight only go on to gain it, sometimes more in the future. It's over 80, and again, these stats are being pulled from all angles. But generally,
your ass mainly.
Mainly my ass. But it's over 80% whenever they do report them. Sometimes like as high as 95%. And it's like, and this is, again, this is where some of it comes from. It's like, look at all the stuff on TV. All these people just went on to regain that weight.
And so with the show, they really did. I mean, we talk about the two things that you really use is activity and calorie reduction. You have to create a calorie deficit to lose weight.
Which is funny because none of them on the show were talking about like hormones.
I didn't hear anyone talk about gut microbiome.
When they got the doctor on, we're going to lose the most amount of weight that we can. Let's test everyone's gut microbiome. No one said it. And funny enough, they were losing like 200 pounds.
You wouldn't want to be doing stool samples of that lot.
Christ. Give me a pickup truck.
Give them all a bucket.
Pick it up with a shovel.
But so what they did was they took it to the extreme. So calorie restriction was huge. These guys, to get to 400 pounds, you're putting down 7 to 12,000 calories a day consistently, and then you're being put on a 1,500 calorie diet whilst doing more activity than you've probably done in the last 10 years in a week.
Oh, yeah,
and so
crazy.
they were doing, they were walking for hours and hours a day, which already I'm like, you're 400 pounds, you shouldn't be walking that much. You need to
stress fractures.
Yeah, you need to slowly build up to that. Then they were doing their workouts multiple times a day, and massively reduced carbohydrate intake, high protein diet, which we all think is great, but nowhere near enough fuel to kind of just allow them to do that activity. And you would see it on the scale drops. And obviously, if someone's 400 pounds, the water fluxes that someone that big would get would be significant. Yes. Your weight's going to fluctuate by 2 to 5% from water day to day. When you're 400 pounds, you're talking 20-pound fluxes. But they were dropping consistently, 10 plus pounds a week.
Yeah.
And even when they were they're down 50 pounds, 100 pounds, still getting these epic drops.
So you're talking about the deficit is so heavy.
It's almost like a negative deficit.
Yeah.
Where it's like, not only have you burnt off all of the calories that you consumed that day, but like double that. So they were, from what I remember on the documentary, they made their contestants burn 4,000 calories a day. Now, I don't know what measurement they used because we know exercise measurements of calorie burn is way off. But even if I was trying to burn 4,000 calories on a treadmill, that's so much walking.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And it was insane.
But they weren't working or anything. They was just like, they were big people and they would exercise in most of the day.
Yeah.
So it's like, I wouldn't be surprised if they were burning.
And they were passing out in the gym, you know, and then again, it's a show and the trainers would be like, get up, 10 more. And I'd be like, get the ambulance in here.
Imagine if someone fainting here, get up, do
crazy.
another set.
Yeah.
People are like, I'm getting dizzy, I got pains in my chest. And they're like, you're a pussy. And I'm like, mate, if having a heart attack is a pussy, then I'm probably one as well.
Yeah. I think that's a key word you said, they're extreme, because like obviously they lost loads of weight, but was it realistic that they were going to keep that up after the show?
And then so they mentioned this in the documentary as well, but I mean, I always thought this was, we talk about it a lot, like the reverse diet, the after, once you've hit the low weight, what do you do then? And there was zero aftercare in any of the seasons. You know, once that last big show is done, you're on your own.
Once the check has been cashed, that's it. It's game over. We don't need you anymore. They were just cash cows. It's like, let's get them in. Let's entertain the world. Let's cash in on them. Once the cash is in, boom.
And that, go on.
The only thing you learn from doing that is how you never want to do it again.
Yeah.
You don't learn anything about fat loss, you know, because they've starved themselves and they've walked all day and they're like, well, I don't want to do that and I don't know anything else. And so they naturally stop doing both of those things and pack on fat like fast than ever.
Yeah. I can guarantee every single one of those, they were thinking about the end point to go back to what they did previously because they hated it that much.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously with us talking about like the aftercare, like we always say, like the fat loss phase is the end of the beginning. And I know you, Ben, build the reverse diet into the fat loss, don't you? You know, you like transition their calories up towards the end.
I say when they kind of hit that low weight, that's your halfway point in your diet. Versus like we've got there because just mentally, it's like, no, you're 50% there, so you're still switched on.
I think, well, when you think about what we do within Supra to facilitate long-term behavior change, like what are the tactics we have in there? Like improving knowledge and understanding is one of them. Skill development is another one. Changing identity is another one. Like the community side of things is another one. It's like we got all these things that are going to improve the client's ability to then manage this in the long term from a psychological standpoint. And then you've obviously got like the aftercare, learning how to reverse diets, getting your hunger levels back stable, making sure that they're making food choices that are going to enable them to manage their calories over time. And all these things that we put in place, they do none of them. It's like it's an external motive right out the gates. Then the only reason they're doing things is because if they don't do them, they get punished. But then when the show's over, the punishment stops. So they're not going to continue doing them anymore. It's extreme weight loss, all geared around short. And again, external motives can be powerful short term, but if you do have intentions on having long-term success, there has to be other things put in place for when that external motive is then removed to then continue making progress moving forward. And there was just none of that. It's just like, let's just hammer it as hard as we can. Well, of course, it's almost like if you thought they were going to keep that weight off, you're delusional.
Yeah.
Absolutely delusional.
Totally unrealistic expectations.
The other thing as well is they all did the same training routine.
Yeah.
Or every single one of them. They might have had pre-existing injuries, anything like that. They were all doing the same circuits, the same amount of steps, despite how much they weighed, their experience, their age, all of this stuff, and they all just did the same bullshit.
Yeah.
And it, like, obviously it worked because you do enough dumb shit, it still work.
Yeah, of course.
But there was no personalized. I bet they all followed the same diet plan, which just, it's so calorie restricted that even the person there with the slowest metabolism would still lose a shitload of weight.
I mean, the question with the show is not what works. Like, we understand what works, but it's the thing that we're questioning is the approach that was taken. But then again, when you think about the aims of the show, it was the biggest loser. Who can lose the most amount of weight in the time period that they had available to them? The show wasn't called "Let's help these people lose loads of weight and then keep it off for the rest of their life so they live a long and fulfilling life." It's just called The Biggest Loser.
It wouldn't have made TV if that was the. If that was
Even the
aim.
play on words of just like The Biggest Loser. Like, I know what you mean. You mean the person who lost the most amount of weight, hence Biggest Loser. But then you're also mugging them off on national TV, hence The Biggest Loser. Like, even just that alone is like, oh gosh.
Yeah, and then I know because the show continued for, I think like Steve Cook was one of the.
Yeah, he was.
He was one of the.
Yeah.
But I think like. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I think he only did one season, and he probably looked at it and goes, "I don't want to be a part of this." And apparently, he did a very good job. But I think they probably get told kind of what they have to do and what they have to make people do. And any coach that has some morals, and so I'm not a huge fan of Gillian Michaels and Bob Harper because they went.
Gillian Michaels is the poo woman, isn't she?
The what?
The poo woman?
Who's that?
Gillian Michaels, is that it? Oh, no, sorry.
What are you on about?
I'm on about Gillian McKeith. Do you remember her? Because she was like a diet person as well, wasn't she? She used to examine the poo.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, forget that. Carry on.
Gillian Michaels, she'd been picking it up by the shovel at Biggest Loser.
You must have been so confused when I went, the poo woman.
Yeah, it's like, what have you been watching?
What the hell have you been watching? Yeah.
But like, I'm not a huge fan of them because they went along with it.
Yeah.
And I everyone has a price, but like that reputation of like, well, you went along with it, and despite what they say, be like, no, we told them to do this, we told them that. So you fucking didn't. Like, you got a fat paycheck.
Yeah.
You were on The Biggest Loser for 10 to 15 years, making millions from it, and you were a celebrity trainer because it kind of shot their careers into the stratosphere. As now they're the sought after celebrity trainer because you got Dave to drop 200 pounds in 6 months, and it's like, yeah, but Dave's dead now.
Yeah.
Like, and so it's I didn't really like that.
No, the thing is that with those, I would even question whether that type of trainer even knew how bad it was what they were doing.
Yeah.
Like, we always say, there's loads of coaches out there. You can take your pick. But how many good quality coaches are out there? Are pretty slim. And they're just they're probably, they're trainers who they get their clients in, they're celebrity clients, and they just like hammer them with a circuit 3 times a week and tell them to eat salads.
Yeah.
And like, there's no thought about like, okay, how can I teach this person? There's none of that. It's just, they just know the basics of if you hammer someone from a fitness standpoint, you starve them somewhat, they're going to lose weight.
Yeah.
So then when they went into this, I bet they were like, oh, yeah, this is just quite an extreme version of what I do now.
Yeah.
I bet they never thought about the consequences of that type of act,
It's really funny, like the whole celebrity trainer kind of area. Like there's some, like Aaron Williamson, awesome guy, awesome trainer. The guy that trains Chris Hemsworth, pretty switched on, Aussie guy. There's probably there's another one which Tyler knew, I can't remember his name, but he trained Ryan Reynolds for Deadpool, and has done some guys very, very switched on with his training, awesome guy. But I think a lot of them are kind of like, it was right place, right time when you knew the right person. Because then you look at, the actor or whatever will post kind of the workouts that they did, and it's always fluffed up. It's like, oh, he gained 40 pounds for this role. And he's like, oh, I was eating 6,000 calories. It's like, you fucking were.
Yeah.
Like, and any coach with a brain wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
But it seems like they just lucked out, and then it's like, oh, the most highly sought after trader in Hollywood. And I'm just like, why?
But you can tell, like, even I think one of the coaches. So who was the guy? The man's name, the man PT.
Bob Harper.
I think it was him who was chatting on the show, and immediately he was talking, and I was like, "Well, he's clearly rubbish.
Yeah,
like he's clearly a moron.
Yeah.
He's not a celebrity trainer, as in It's like he's a celebrity because he is a trainer and also is a celebrity. Like he's in the crowd of celebrities and he's a personal trainer. It didn't mean he had to go through qualifications and experience to get to a celebrity trainer. He just is a trainer, a pretty crap trainer, and is a celebrity.
Do you know, the clients have obviously gained all the weight back now. What they don't realize the impact that has had, okay, is that their last experience of trying to drop body fat was that extreme approach. It's going to make it so much difficult.
PTSD.
Yeah.
100%.
The negative associations they will have with diet, fat loss, and it's going to make it so much harder for them to lose weight and keep it off in a sustainable way. It's the last time I tried, I was, doing, I haven't watched the show, but doing 6 training sessions a week, trying to burn 4,000 calories.
And we get it a lot when clients sign up to Supra, and they'll say, "Oh, well, my last trainer, it wasn't a great experience, and they had me doing this, they had me doing that. I didn't make any progress." And you're kind of like, "Where did you find this guy?"
Well, it's so common,
and
as well. It's so common.
You almost want to you'd be like, "I apologize on behalf of coaches that person is a coach."
Yeah,
and
I would
really
say
hard.
this happens in mass and again, you can't paint everyone with the same brush, but you see it all the time now in fitness with the bodybuilders who coach Gen Pop, is they use the tactics of a bodybuilding prep with Gen Pop clients who have a different goal. Yeah. So they might call it, what do they call it? They call their bodybuilding clients lifestyle clients. But you use the same tactic. Yeah. You don't know anything outside of a bodybuilding prep, so you just use a bodybuilding prep with someone who's not bodybuilding.
The only difference is they don't get as lean.
Yeah, that's it.
The difference between lifestyle and body, it's they don't step on stage.
Because they're not as motivated as the bodybuilder is, because he signed up to a show and he hasn't. But it's but you use the same tactic for them, and again, it's a short-term tactic. Hence why bodybuilders don't look like that year-round, because it was a short-term tactic to get the desired look by a desired date. But then you give that to someone else who wants to have long-term success and build this physique long-term, and it doesn't work. They get it, they do a photo shoot, and then 6 months later, they're back to custard guts. And it's here we go again, and they're straight back in the mix.
So I think now compare this Biggest Loser to MrBeast's video where Tyler was the coach, and it was still a weight loss challenge, and I think he had 12 months to lose 100 pounds.
Was it 6? Or was it, I think it did change.
So the goal was 12. I think he did it in 8 or 9, I think.
Yeah.
But big prize money, big external motivator. It was kind of lots of money went into it. It's he can't leave the circle of the gym, and so he's kind of stuck there on his own. And Tyler was the trainer for it. And the approach that they took was exactly how we would do it, because Tyler is a fantastic coach. Was a fantastic coach, and so the guy was doing 12 to 15,000 steps. Started off on some basic training, using machines because he wasn't very experienced with the free weights. And then it was all very, very progressive. And the guy has kept the weight off, and he looks better now than when he finished the YouTube channel.
That's epic.
Because obviously he posts more on social media and stuff now, and he looks in better shape now than when he finished it. And it just goes to show he was set up for success.
Yeah.
Because the whole way he did it, it wasn't overly aggressive. It was based on his needs, his body type, what he likes to eat, what he doesn't like to eat, what he likes to train, what he doesn't like to train. All of that was taken into consideration to build his plan. And then you had the support of Tyler as a human being, talking about lifestyle changes, behavior changes, identity change, all of this stuff. And so, there's really no way that he wasn't going to lose the weight, because it was just set up perfectly. So
the foundations of that are really similar.
Yeah.
But the tactics that went in, one of them was geared around long-term, one of them's geared around purely short-term.
Well, the trainers on that celebrity show would call the client like a pussy if he fell on the floor. What was the first thing Tyler said to the client? And the client said, that's what really made him like Tyler. Tyler said, it's so cool that we get to do this together. Instantly trying to build a relationship.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a great relationship come from calling someone a pussy on the floor or whatever.
I think
they got pings in their chest.
Literally, if someone said well, how would you do Biggest Loser differently? I'd go watch that YouTube video. That's exactly how I'd do it. And so that's that is exactly how I'd have approached it. And still, losing over 100 pounds in 8 months, still amazing. It's
crazy
and like the guy was big, but he wasn't he wasn't 400 pounds. And so yeah, I just thought it was an interesting documentary because it was a bit nostalgic watching it because it kind of disappeared off TV for a while. But yeah,
They never got back to you when you applied, did they?
no, they said I was too fat, and so they're like, the scale's not big
What
enough.
was the prize money, just out of curiosity?
I think it was like 250 grand or something.
yeah,
I'll have to look.
So
So
there was
it
obviously-
was a decent amount.
So there's
of
obviously an
money.
external motivator there as well. But the fact he's kept it off, obviously
Oh, you mean
that
for the MrBeast
Yeah,
video?
the MrBeast
I think it
video.
was like for every pound lost, it was like
He got $1,000, I think, wasn't it?
I think
So
it,
they
I think
ended
it
up.
was,
He won,
no, it was more than that.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, he ended up with a few hundred grand, I think.
So obviously he would have had that paycheck now, right?
Yeah.
But he still kept it off.
Yeah.
So obviously his internal motivation now just goes to show how good Tyler was.
Well, Tyler was like teaching him about his diet, wasn't he? Tyler was there, he was supporting him throughout it, and like they were talking about like his father. So Tyler was talking about, so the last time this guy tried to lose weight, his father passed, and that ruined it. And then he ended up going back. So like Tyler's learning about these previous experiences that he's had to try and guide him and support him, not just like trying to punish him into weight loss.
Yeah.
So yeah, I highly recommend if you're going to apply for The Biggest Loser, don't sign up for Superhuman instead. But thank you as always for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
If you love this show, please like, share, and leave us a 5-star review so that we can help more people. I'm John Madsen. Go get what's yours.